Coming up on 5-Minute News. China balloon was designed to collect US intelligence. Elon Musk's SpaceX restricts Ukraine's use of drones. And Mike Pence subpoenaed in special counsel probe. It's Friday, February 10. I'm Anthony Davis. The balloon shot down by the US was equipped by China to detect and collect intelligence signals as part of a huge military-linked aerial surveillance program that targeted more than 40 countries, the Biden administration said on Thursday, citing imagery from American U-2 spy planes. A fleet of balloons operates under the direction of the People's Liberation Army and is used specifically for spying, outfitted with high-tech equipment designed to gather sensitive information from targets across the globe, the US said. Similar balloons have sailed over 5 continents, according to the administration. On Capitol Hill, the House voted unanimously to condemn China for a brazen violation of U.S. sovereignty and efforts to deceive the international community through false claims about its intelligence collection campaigns. Republicans have criticized Joe Biden for not acting sooner to down the balloon, despite the president giving the order immediately the balloon was discovered. In Beijing, before the U.S. offered its new information, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning repeated her nation's insistence that the large unmanned balloon was a civilian meteorological airship that had blown off course and that the U.S. had overreacted by shooting it down. Ukrainians reacted on Thursday with puzzlement and some ire to comments by a top Starlink official that their country has weaponized the satellite internet service, which has been pivotal to their national survival. President Gwynne Shotwell of SpaceX, which runs Starlink, was also reported to have said at the same venue on Wednesday that the Elon Musk-controlled company had taken unspecific action to prevent Ukraine's military from using Starlink technology against Russian invaders. The network of low-orbiting satellites has been crucial to Ukraine's use of battlefield drones, a central fixture of the year-old war. And the country's defenders have no viable alternative. The satellite links help Ukrainian fighters locate the enemy and target long-range artillery strikes. On stage at a conference in Washington, D.C., Shotwell said, "We were really pleased to be able to provide Ukraine connectivity and help them in their fight for freedom. It was never intended to be weaponized. However, Ukrainians have leveraged it in ways that were unintentional and not part of any agreement." Speaking separately to reporters from the Wall Street Journal and other news organizations, Shotwell said SpaceX has worked to restrict Ukraine's use of Starlink for military purposes. "There are things that we can do to limit their ability to do that," they quoted her as saying. "There are things that we can do and have done." That drew the ire of a top aide to President Volodymyr Zelensky, who said SpaceX needs to decide whether it is on the side of Ukraine's right to freedom or Russia's right to kill and seize territories. It was not clear whether Shotwell's comments on Wednesday were made at the urging of Elon Musk, the founder, CEO, and chief engineer of SpaceX. The 2,200 satellite constellation has been a lifeline for the country since Russia's February 24 invasion, especially vital as Ukraine struggles to keep electrical power and telecommunications operating under withering Russian missile and drone attacks on civilian targets. Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien have been subpoenaed by the special counsel leading probes into classified documents found at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence and efforts to overturn the 2020 election result. Pence was issued a subpoena by special counsel Jack Smith, though the nature of the request was not immediately known. The action follows months of negotiations involving federal prosecutors and Pence's lawyers. O'Brien has been asserting executive privilege in declining to provide some of the information that prosecutors are seeking from him. Trump's former acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf was interviewed by Justice Department lawyers in recent weeks as part of the ongoing special counsel investigation related to 2020 election interference. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland named Smith as special counsel in November to oversee investigations of the disgraced former president, shortly after Trump said he would seek the Republican nomination for president again in 2024. The first probe involves Trump's handling of highly sensitive classified documents that he retained at his Florida resort after leaving the White House in January 2021. The second investigation is looking at efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election's results, including a plot to submit phony slates of electors to block Congress from certifying Democrat Joe Biden's victory. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate, and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health, and climate, delivering independent, unbiased, and essential world news daily.